One afternoon I was just saying goodbye to my friend who dropped in for a little visit, and she got in her car and drove off, and I put the dog out in the back and when I was bringing the dog in, I noticed that my son had come home and he was lying down on the back deck of his truck. So I went to see what he was doing, and when I went, it wasn't my son at all. It was another young man lying down on my son's deck of his truck. So I went over and asked him who he was and would he wake up, because he seemed to be sound asleep, and he had a little mirror compact, open beside his face. So I wondered what he was doing with that, and I yelled at him to wake him up, and he wouldn't wake up. And he seemed to be breathing, so I didn't think he was dead, and he could only have been there less than 5 minutes, because I just had to take the dog out and bring the dog back, and he has already gone to sleep. So I came in and I phoned the police, not 911, but the other number, and in less than 5 minutes there were 2 police cars here. There was a nice van in one of them, and there was a nice policewoman in the other one. And she came up to my door and talked to me and made sure there was nobody else here, and could she walk around the back and everything. And in the meanwhile, this policeman was yelling at this fellow who was asleep on the truck, and he couldn't wake him up either. And he yelled and yelled, and finally he was saying, "Saanich police, wake up! Saanich police, wake up!" very loudly. And he didn't, so eventually he pulled him off the truck and made him sort of stand up, and this woke him up a bit, and he asked him his name, which was Kevin. And in a couple of minutes he was marching him off and putting him in the police car, and the policeman, was still at the door talking to me, making sure I was happy, and I would go around and double check all my doors. And she said she had been around the back and there was no sign of anybody having been there. And I knew there wasn't, because I was just there with the dog. Anyway, it was all very nice and very professional, and the whole thing was over in 5 minutes.